In this video, I explain about disc brake. First we understand the introductions, then after construction and the working of the disc brake. So first we understand the introduction of disc brake. So disc brake are different from drum brake. So what is the drum brake? Drum brake means internal expansion brake is a one type of drum brake. In a drum brake we use the drum, and in an internal expansion brake, inside the drum we provide the different mechanism, means the brake shoe, frictional surface are provided. In a disc brake, instead of the drum we use the circular metal disc. Second difference is that in a drum brake we use the brake shoe. So in a disc brake, these brake shoe are replaced by a caliper with supported pair of friction pad, one on each side of the disc. Means two friction pads are provided on both the side of the disc. So here you see, this is the diagram. This is the disc. This is the friction pad. So this is one is provided left side to the disc, second is provided right side to the disc. This part is the caliper, and this caliper are fitted with the fixed portions of the vehicle, like as the axles or a casing of the various parts. So this is the caliper, this disc, and this is the friction pads. And for operating the friction pads, the hydraulic oil is used. So in our vehicles, we apply some force on the brake pedal, either by using the hand or either by using the foot. So when we apply the force on a brake pad or a foot levers, then what happens? Here the oil is provided, and this oil is supplied towards the friction pads, and here the piston is there, and this piston is moved and the friction pad is come in a contact with the disc, and here the friction is produced, and due to the frictions our vehicle speed is reduced, or either we stop the vehicles. These pads are forced inwards by operating force, and so rotates the disc. Means for applying some force on the brake pads we use the hydraulic energies. So here we supply the oils both the side of the disc in a pistons, and the brake is applied. Now we understand the constructions of the disc brake. So this is the diagram of the disc brake. Disc brake are consist of metal disc bolted to the wheel hub and stationary housing called as the caliper. So here you see, this is the revolving disc where it is installed. So it is revolving disc is the one type of metal disc, and it is bolted with the wheel hub. So these discs are also rotate. So when we stop this metal disc, the wheel hub is also stopped, and other part is the caliper. So here you see, this is the caliper, and this caliper is mounted on a stationary housing. The caliper is connected to some stationary part of the vehicle. So our wheel is rotating parts. Okay, so this metal disc is installed on a wheel hub. So metal disc is rotates, and this caliper are stationary parts. So this caliper is connected with a stub axle or a axle casing, and is cast in a two parts. Each is connecting a piston. So here you see, this caliper is cast in a two parts. This is the left side parts and this is the right side parts. And in both the parts, the pistons are provided. So this is the piston. This is also a piston. In between each piston and the disc, there is a friction pad hold in a position by retarding pins and a spring plates. So this is the disc, these are the pistons, and these are the friction pads. Passages are drilled in the caliper for the fluid to enter or leave the housing. Here you see, the two holes are provided in a caliper on both the sides of the piston. So this is one piston, here one drill is provided, and this is the hydraulic lines for supplying the oils. So oil is supplied, means here the mention the fluid from the line is come here, and the fluid is supplied by using this hole in a calipers. These passages are also connected to each other by bleeding. Each cylinder contains rubber sealing rings between the cylinder and the pistons. So between the cylinder and pistons, the one ring is provided to avoid the leakage of oils. and these both the parts are connected with each other. So here you see these both the parts are connected with each other, so equally pressures of the oil is applied on both the sides of the pistons. Before moving ahead towards the workings, I request to like the video and subscribe my channels for watching the more video related to basic mechanical engineering or other subject of this mechanical engineering. For BME subject, various links is provided in descriptions, as well as in car. For other subject, I request to visit the playlist. Now we discuss the working of disc brake. On the application of brake, hydraulically actuated pistons move the friction pads into contact with the disc and applying equal and opposite force on the laters. Means earlier we discussed that the piston is used and this piston is operated by using the oil. So it is called as the hydraulically actuated piston. Actuated means it is operated. Okay, so piston is operated by using the oil. And when this piston is moved, with the piston friction pad is also moved. So here you see we applied some force on the brake pedal and oil is supplied. So here we are pressing, oil is supplied and this piston is moved and this friction pad is come in a contact with the disc. So here friction is produced and due to friction the speed of the disc is reduced and disc is attached with the wheel hub. So wheel speed is also reduced, so means our vehicle speed is reduced. When the brake are released, the rubber sealing rings act as a return springs and retract the piston and friction pads away from the disc. Means when we release the brake, this spring is expand, and when the spring is expand, this piston is start to move and oil is again come into this then main master cylinders assembly. So this is the working of the disc brake. So thank you for watching this video. If you learn something, and like the video and subscribe my channels for watching the more video related to mechanical engineering.